What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Love and War. Let me begin. So I think the last time I got on here, I ended with me telling you guys that Aaron had took me off for my birthday, and there were some very specific and I don't want to say strange events that occurred that day, but they were very weird, I guess I could say. I don't know. I don't even like using the word weird. Anyway, so Aaron took me to a jewelry store and he had me try on some rings. And being that we weren't really together yet, I was really confused by that, but I went along with it. And when I got there, of course, it was my birthday. One of the workers that we were talking to, she had the same birthday as me. She had the same nail color that I had on, and I believe her name was Whitney. So that's weird, right? I was like, man, that's crazy. So part of me was like, this is interesting. And is this a sign? Is this telling me that I should be with this man? Blah, blah, blah. I had all of those thoughts going through my mind. And I forgot to mention that he did take me to the Lights Before Christmas before we got to the restaurant or the area where the stores are. And that is one of my favorite places to go during the holidays. And it was wonderful. It was blissful. I just had a lot of fun. And then we went to dinner and he took me to a Japanese steakhouse, I believe, hibachi place. And, there were a lot of people there. We ate. Then he went and got me some gifts. And what I liked about the gifts is that he got me gifts specific to the things that I really love. So that made me, see that there was a lot of thought behind the things that he bought me for my birthday. Like my favorite cereal, like my favorite snack, applesauce, the flavor. I think there was some other things that he got me. I think he got me some books, and it was really nice. And that was pretty much the end of our date. He went back home the same night, and on the way home, he got stuck in a ditch. And I was like, Lord, is that a sign? Maybe he shouldn't have came. You know how we are. We get so in our head so many times and we overthink, but that's another story. So that happened. So fast forward to, I believe it was February. I decided to visit Aaron in Chicago. I was very hesitant about it because trust issues. I was thinking about it like maybe I shouldn't do this. I talked to my dad about it. And we had prayed about it, and I was praying. I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm going to go. And I'm just asking you to give me discernment, and that if there's anything that I need to know or see about this man, that you reveal it to me. That was my prayer. That was my dad's prayer. So there were some things that were red flags to me at the time, and even maybe in general, red flags. But I caught the bus there. Number one, I hate the bus. I don't even remember if he paid the ticket or if I paid the ticket. I'm not sure. But before I left, he didn't call me to check on me to make sure I was on the bus, that I was headed there safely. I literally had to call him. And for me at the time, and even now, it probably still would have been a red flag for me. I'm like, okay, this man knows I'm about to travel from one state to another, and the least he could do is check on me. That was one thing that I was like, and part of me wanted to get off the bus at that time, but I went ahead and went anyway. So we get there, I paid for a hotel. And at the time, that was another thing that I was like, but it's more to that. I'm just telling you my mindset at the time. These are some things that were going through my mind at the time. And, I got there. I can't remember exactly what we did right away, but things were going okay. Things were going okay. So then we went to the casino to eat at the all-you-can-eat buffet. I heard that those places were really good. They had a lot of good food, all those things. We did that. We got there. It was a long line. I think it was like a seafood night or something like that. And I noticed that his phone was ringing. I didn't pay attention to it. Phones ring. Phones ring. But then it rang again. I didn't say anything. I think it might have rang. It was ringing, I think, 2 or 3 times before we even sat down at the buffet. So, go to the buffet, we're eating our food. His phone rings again. Now, me, I'm like, who is this calling you? And it wasn't early in the day. It was later in the night, maybe more around 8 o'clock or so. But I noticed that it was ringing and he wasn't answering. Usually if there's an emergency, you would think somebody was answering. So I knew it wasn't an emergency. So I let the night go by, all those good stuff. We went to the store, his phone ringing again. I asked him, I'm like, who is that? He tells me he doesn't know. Part of me is like, he's lying. And that's one thing about me is I really believe that I have good discernment, that God really, pushes on me when there is something going on. So he tells me he doesn't know. Fast forward to further in the evening. He drops me off in my hotel. I told him not to get out. Don't bother to take me to my room. I was highly upset. And once I got to the room after he got home, we had a conversation about what it was. And it was a female, which I knew. I just needed him to tell me the truth. It was a female. Some more things happened. I was asking him about her, and let's go back to the time when we were talking and getting to know each other before he even came to see me on my birthday. I had asked him about, his sexual encounters and asked if he had recently had any sexual encounters. And he said that he hadn't within the past year. So fast forward to the situation that's going on right now. I find out that he had recently had sex with this woman. So he had lied to me. And there were some other things that God positioned me to be in to find out. And he ended up telling me the truth after I basically interrogated him in a sense, because I was upset. And there were some other things that had occurred and that I have found out that made me highly uncomfortable and made me feel like I couldn't trust him anymore. He tried to, buy me flowers and things like that before I left to go home. But at that point, I was done, because he knew the insecurities I had and, the trust issues I had. And I shared with him some things that I had went through in my past relationships. And the fact that he lied to me about it made me feel like I could not trust him anymore. So at that point, I was done with Aaron. I probably went off on him. And he'll tell you today, he tells me now, I never, ever want to see you act that way ever again in my life. And I can't tell you the demeanor that I had, but I know it was intense. And I think I told him to lose my number, don't call me again. I got back home and I was full of hurt. I was so hurt. And at that point, we had disconnected, and I deleted his number. I deleted all our pictures. I deleted everything that reminded me of him. And that was that. It had been a couple of years that had went by, I believe, and God was dealing with me on how I responded to him. Although he made that mistake, I had reached out, I believe it was a couple years later, and I had apologized. And I said that I was going to share the whole story today, but the video is kind of long, so that's all I'm going to share with you guys today. But as you can see, we definitely hit a rough spot, and that's not the only rough spot that we've hit. We've been through a lot, and towards the end, you're going to know our testimony and all those things. This is the part of the story that doesn't make me too excited, but it's definitely a part of this journey, and I want to share more of it with you. So stay tuned. Watch out for the videos. it's not always the best to share your story with people, but if you have a purpose for it and you know that there's something that someone can gain from it and help someone, then yeah, it's okay to tell your story if that's going to be a blessing to someone else. So stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.